diseases. If I'd been saddled with Vic, no doubt the shame would be compounded with an endless litany of chest-rub jokes. The details of my ignominious start in life are something I prefer not to dwell on, though naturally I feel obliged to share my shameful secret with my very proper wife before our nuptials. Much as she assures me she loves me, Marigold has always maintained that if I hadn't been adopted and name-changed, there was no way she would have lumbered herself with a husband bearing the initials V.D. or taken the surname Bucket. The only way I would have come near you would have been in a pair of marigolds, landing herself with the affectionate pet name of Marigold, in honour of the popular brand of yellow rubber gloves. "Barry, you could be onto something," I admitted. "I always found my inauspicious beginnings of being abandoned in a bucket most mortifying. However, a recent encounter with a self-help guru persuaded me to embrace the negatives and turn them into positives. I will expunge the adverse associations of V.D. Bucket and take it as my pseudonym for this experimental foray into the literary world." Having settled the matter of penning an up-sticks-to-grease book under an incognito pen name, we clambered up the rather hazardous stone steps leading to the roof terrace and settled into the rickety plastic chairs surreptitiously scavenged from the local bins. Naturally, I checked Barry's chair wasn't placed anywhere near the edge, since he suffers terribly from vertigo. It simply wouldn't make a good first impression on the locals if Barry hurled on them over the wall. The roof terrace proved the deciding factor when Marigold determined we would make our new home in a tiny village high in the mountains of Messina, the village henceforth to be known by the covert name of Meli to protect our privacy. Marigold's decision took me by complete surprise. Before discovering the dated village house, she had adamantly refused to settle for anything less than a brand-new villa with a pool by the sea. Instead, she fell for a rambling old village house in the middle of nowhere, desperately in need of modernization, with a very precarious water supply. Chapter 2. The Lure of Greece. The lure of Hellenic life lay at the very heart of Marigold's long-held dream of starting afresh in a new country, seducing her with visions of stunning sunsets and captivating vistas of unrivalled beauty. A fortnight's package in Patmos, Paga or Paros was never enough to satisfy her Grecian dreams. Incidentally, the first proposed title of these ramblings, until my brother-in-law, Barry, insisted it sounded too much like the date-expired bottle of Grecian 2000 he'd discovered lurking at the back of my bathroom cabinet. The Grecian appeal will not be lost on anyone who has ever ventured to this ethereal landscape, a poetic paradise steeped in the history of Hellenic heroes. The all-embracing warmth of Philoxenia, Greek hospitality, consumed Marigold with wistful nostalgia each time our holidays ended, sending her tripping off to the travel agent in search of our next adventure. Colourful pins were planted in an enormous map of Greece and her islands that decorated the dining room wall, as Marigold fantasized about swapping our unassuming semi for a palatial villa in mythical lands. Needless to say, I had little say in the matter. An irrelevant detail, since the secret of our happy marriage lay in my indulging Marigold's whims, at least if I wished to continue enjoying a quiet life. Around the turn of the millennium, Marigold became more vocal about moving to Greece, inspired by the spew of A Place in the Sun-type television programmes, on top of her nightly addiction of bedtime reading about relocating to sunnier climes. Her eyes took on a calculating gleam when the prospect of an early retirement payoff from my illustrious career as a public health inspector was broached, particularly since Marigold had idle time on her hands following the incident that resulted in her unexpected resignation from her position as a pet food taster. Dithering over destinations delayed any concrete plans for departure until we discovered the Greek Mani. Marigold was immediately transfixed, besottedly declaring she had finally found the perfect place to live out the twilight years of our existence. While setting up an appointment with a foreign estate agent, she cajoled me into accepting the offer of early retirement. Before I knew it, a for sale sign was standing erect in the front garden, and Marigold was busy flogging off my accumulated collection of vintage model trains on eBay, insisting we weren't going to cart all my toy trains to mainland Europe and have them cluttering up the marble floors of our new villa. "But we haven't found a villa yet," I'd argued. "Victor, it's only a matter of time. Don't be so negative."